welcome to this R course. Here in this first lecture, we are going to learn how we can set up our environment and what softwares we need to download and install to start to code in R. So this is a really important step because it will help you to set up the environment and get all the tools ready to continue with this course. So let's jump right into Google so that we can download R first and then download RStudio. So R is the coding language that we are going to use, and what we are going to install first is the R interpreter, something that will enable your computer to interpret R code. Then we are going to download our interface to code in R, which is called RStudio, which is a bit better to code in R and to do some data analysis and also to do some experiments by visualizing the environment. Let's go forward and jump right into Google. Okay, so here in Google, let's go to the search bar and search for R download. So here, the first link will give us download R410 for Windows. I'm going to do the installation process for Windows, but I'll leave some links in the resources for Ubuntu and also for Mac. Here, you just go for the first link, and the first link will take us to the most recent stable version of R. In this case, at the time of this video, I'm using R410. That doesn't mean that this is the same version that you will use when you try to install the software. There will be not many major differences between the language and all the things that we are going to learn, but there might be some slight details that may change. Don't worry about it, that will not impact the learning curve so much. Okay, so let's hit download R410 for Windows, and this will pop up some window to download R into our computer. This should go into your downloads folder. As you can see, R is being downloaded here in Chrome. I'm using Google Chrome, but of course you can use Firefox, Internet Explorer, or any other type of browser. So I'm here in my downloads folder and I have here R410-win. So this R410 is the software that I'll want to install. I'm going to double click this icon and this will pop up the installer process. If your Windows asks if you want to allow the following program to make changes, just click yes. Know that R is a safe and open source software. Here, just select the language that you want to use inside R. I'm going to select English and click OK. This will pop up this window. You can read the license from R. So R is an open source software. That means that you can use it for free without any charges. Also, by being open source, that means that you can use code that someone developed and that lets you use that code for free. That means that if some new novelty in terms of machine learning or in terms of other libraries come up, the R community will develop the code needed to use that novelty and will make it available for free for every user of the community, in this case for every R user. That's extremely cool because in software vendors you have to wait for new releases by the software vendor, and that sometimes may not be aligned with what you want to do. An example, Twitter only came up in the last 10 or 15 years. So there's a library in R that is used for you to extract tweets automatically. That came up because the community developed this library and let you use that simple command by loading just a function from that library. And that's super cool. We'll learn how to deal with libraries also in this course. So let's continue hitting next here after reading the license. Then you can install it anywhere you want. I'm going to install in the default folder, in this case the program files. Clicking next, and I'm going to leave everything checked. Clicking next, and I'm going to say customize the startup options, going to leave no, and I'm going to go forward and leave also an icon in the start menu. And also here I'm going to hit create a desktop shortcut so that I have a desktop shortcut that I can access more quickly. Next, and now R is installing. This should be really quick, so I'll jump to the end of the installation process. Okay, so the setup just finished. It took around 5 minutes. In your system may take more or less, depending of course on your system. Just hit finish, and now we have installed R in our computer. I'm going to my desktop, and now I have here these two icons. I'm going to open one of them. This is just two different bits version, don't need to worry about it. I'm going to open one of them, and we are going to see R. So this is the R console. It's pretty basic. What this R console really does is interpreting R code. We are not going to code in this R console because this is not optimized for other kinds of stuff, and RStudio is much better when we are coding, as you will see. Here, for example, this interprets R code, and one of the simple ways to test this is that I can use this as a calculator. For example, 20 plus 1 will yield here the result 21. So I can now launch commands or R commands into this console, and this will respond with the output from those commands. Okay, so it's just like any Windows command line, but in this case, it interprets R code. This will be the base software that will be read by RStudio so that we can program R inside our computer, in that case in RStudio. That's what we are going to install next, and after that we are ready to start the course and to build things using R.